DNVR bar.
Oh.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show.
Let's go.
Presented by Miller Lite. What time is it, Dev?
Is it Miller time?
It's Miller time, man. It's also 6:31.
Yeah.
Vote is officially late.
I'm just glad it's not me, man. I'm just glad it's not me.
Dude, you were here minutes early. I mean, come on, man.
I'm here early, actually, if you think about it.
You are here. We're also in the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. I do have Superstar Dev in the house.
What's up? Friday night at the bar. A matchup that I'm excited for. Like, really. Wemby just brings something out of you.
I'm super pumped for this one.
I'm excited about it.
We're talking about that later on in the show because Wemby-Jokic last year, rookie year, but it ended in a way that I feel like it actually was the start of a rivalry.
Yeah.
Wemby has wounded Jokic last year, taking the Nuggets out of the 1 seed. So we're going to talk about that. I also want to talk about, I don't know if you've seen Anthony Edwards. Do you remember Devin Booker did not like double teams? He didn't like that?
Hated it.
Anthony Edwards also doesn't like double teams.
He even went on to say his age.
He did try to use it as a shield or something,
Come on, man. I'm 23.
You know you messed up. We'll get to that a little bit later as well. But we're going to break down this game. We have got here in Denver the weirdest part of the schedule of the entire year. Denver versus San Antonio in Denver. Tomorrow night, Denver versus San Antonio in San Antonio. So it's a back-to-back. Both teams are on that back-to-back, but it's like an even back-to-back. And, you know, it's a big one. Oh, my gosh, look who's here. Look who's here. Do you have game notes? Because I'm improvising them right now. Brendan Vogt is live in studio. He has made it. Nice shirt, buddy. Look phenomenal.
That is a nice shirt. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's a nice-looking flannel, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well, happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm here as well. Okay. Well, how far did you get into the game notes?
Not really anywhere. I was kind of bullshitting while I pulled up stats.
Okay, cool. Did you mention that the Spurs are 17 and 16?
I haven't even gotten that far yet.
Okay, cool. Well, they're 17 and 16. They are 10th in the West. They've won one game in a row. Much better at home, of course, than away. No surprise there. 14 and 13 in the Western Conference, where it's been a much better season for them than last year. Chris Paul is making a difference, leading the team in assists at about 8.3. Wemby, of course, has been a monster, mostly defensively, but offensively, it's about 24 and 10. Double-double for him. That's really, those are the highlights of the Spurs, of course, for the Nuggets. It's always about turnovers, second chance points, rebounding. Will they get involved in the first half? Do they want to get involved in the first half? If they do, they'll win. That's been the season trend.
This is what Michael Malone said?
That's only happened about 10 times. No, that's just me talking.
Oh, that's just you. I was like,
Yeah.
This is Malone's point?
Nope, that's just me talking about the Nuggets. That's what I got for game notes.
Do we have anything from the pregame here today?
I'm going to double check and make sure I haven't missed any huge quotes here.
The Spurs, how much have you watched of the Spurs so far this year?
I watch Wemby highlights.
Yeah.
No, actually, I've been watching a little bit of them lately. I bet on Wemby a lot.
Yeah.
I do.
In which direction?
Points.
You really?
Yeah, they've done a new thing with Wemby where they just give him the ball every single time.
Yeah.
Like, it's been new. It used to be like he was passing. That's been the biggest change, I think, from, rookie year Wemby to now. They used to have guys that I felt like was playing for their contracts, so they played a specific way of like everybody wants to get it. Now they know who their future is. He's having like even games that he's putting up 30 field goal attempts. And that's what, people have asked for him to just get the ball and see what he can do. And that man can score. He can score.
It's going to be interesting how he approaches this night. Let's table it for a second because I do want to talk Wemby and Jokic. But there's another marquee matchup tonight. Chris Paul versus Russell Westbrook. These guys had, something of a rivalry. They're partners for a while, but they're of the same generation. Point guards, do it a different way. I feel like Steph Curry, Chris Paul, Westbrook are sort of the 3 point guards of that era. And they've both found new teams. where they're actually making a big impact. So I feel like that matchup's a sneaky good one tonight.
It is, and Michael Malone spoke on that as well, and he said, you guys have heard me speak glowingly about everything Russ has done for this team on and off the court. It's just been tremendous to watch and be a part of. Having coached Chris and having known him for many years, I think the Spurs would probably say all the same things. It's not just the on-court product that you get from Chris Paul. It's the leadership, mentoring some of their young players, making all of his teammates better. Those are two of the greatest point guards in the last 25 years to play the game, and both of them will be first ballot Hall of Famers. Did hear more from Malone on Russell Westbrook, and obviously the big question right now, we put a roundtable about this up on the DNVR.com now if you want to know our answers. Will Russell Westbrook remain in the starting lineup when Aaron Gordon eventually returns? Vinny asked Malone that question straight up. Malone did not take the bait, saying, I don't look forward. I'm just trying to worry about San Antonio. We play them again tomorrow night. Hopefully we get healthy at some point soon, get Aaron Gordon back. But we'll make those decisions when we are fully whole.
All right. Well, that is going to be an interesting one when it hits. Malone has been being coy with it for a while, so I'm not surprised he didn't tip his hand. But tonight, it's the same group. And I'll be honest, man, I'm glad we still have it. I'm glad we get another game, probably 2 more games with this group, because I just feel like there's like discoveries being made right now. Tonight will extend that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just a unique style of play that's like really just not the same when he's not in the starting lineup. So it's a new brand of the Nuggets, and I think that makes it difficult for other teams to game plan for this Nuggets squad because they play differently every single night. As people that watch the Nuggets often, we get to see a different Nuggets team all the time. So just imagine what the game plan is there. But also, I do think that it lends itself of like toughness, pace, as well as like the ball's like popping. They're passing the ball a lot more, and that bodes well for Jokic. I mean, I think every style does, but I think he really excels in this like brand of basketball.
Well, we have an interesting thing going on right now where I think it's 3 straight games. Murray, Jokic, and MPJ have all scored 20 games. That's a long streak, 3 games. You get another one tonight. It's like there's something to it. You know, I think there's already something to it, but we rarely see all 3 of them have a good scoring night at the same time. And the fact that it's happening somewhat consistently right now, we get it tonight, man. Funky music,
but also it will bring us back to that question we were just talking about, right? Which is how much of this is Russ in the starting lineup? How much of it are you willing to lose when Aaron Gordon comes back? You know, I think the big counter to just saying play this way, this is who you are now, is that going to be who you are in the playoffs? And I think if the answer is no, perhaps wise to stick with the original plan, the rotation as intended. You know, don't hurt confidence. That's going to be your group. What does it look like? But for the time being, in a regular season environment, the Russ spot starts are going swimmingly for the Denver Nuggets.
Let's move on now and talk about the marquee matchup tonight, and that is Victor Wembanyama versus Nikola Jokic. Last year, if you recall, both of them had a couple monster performances in their various games, but I feel like the only thing we're really going to remember is that Wemby helped lead the Spurs to that crazy second half comeback against the Nuggets in the third to last game of the year. That really was the beginning of the end of the Nuggets season. It was that game. And so I didn't feel like there was any Jokic-Wemby rivalry. But one, it is year 2. He was a rookie. They played 4 times. Whatever. You know, it's like it didn't have the most novelty. But Wemby has ascended. And there is the sting of, hey, last year when they knocked us off and Wemby had that great second half, that was a big moment. I kind of think the Jokic-Wemby rivalry starts tonight. I mean, it really started in that game. But look, Wemby's climbing. He's a good player. Jokic the best. I think tonight will surprise people on how much those two are the storyline.
I think that it's way bigger than what you think. I think that the idea is this is the best offensive big man in the league versus the best defender in the league.
Yep.
You know, so the best defensive big versus the best offensive big.
I love that.
Whenever you see that's something to look at. It's Godzilla versus King Kong. It's the big matchup that you want to see. And also, both teams run everything through their best player. So I think that's exciting. They're also not like, it's not like you're catching Jokic on like he's still in his prime. Wemby is still climbing. So it's like a young guy like seeing where he measures against the best player in the league right now. I think that's bigger than what you think.
Don't you feel like it's almost like you teach a friend a new board game first game, like, all right, he doesn't know the rules. I'm just kind of going through the motions. I feel like that's rookie season, but sophomore season, it's like, no, you know the rules.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to destroy you now.
Well, he kind of has to. I mean, defensively, Wemby from day one, and Jokic has put up some monster stat lines against Wemby, but from day one, just watching Jokic, which we have the privilege and pleasure to do constantly, including in person, you could see the way, even when he was putting up 30 plus, he would get his lane, he'd get his space, and he'd go, where's Wemby? And the timing, the tempo would be different. And he knew this was someone, this was a chess match for Jokic as well, right? This is something he's going to constantly have to figure out. I've heard that. Yeah. Did you guys know he's French?
That's good.
Yeah.
So one thing with Jokic, we know he struggles at in particular defensively is pick and pop, guys who can stretch the floor. And ironically, for our guy D-Line, who's probably not watching, he wishes Wemby would get in, inside more and more. But he went off as a perimeter shooter in that matchup, and he can do that. And so how consistent is he as a shooter? Is that his sort of leverage point in this matchup against Jokic? How much has he grown since the last time we played? This is a very, very, very fun matchup. And the Spurs, while certainly not the class of the West, are no longer bottom of the barrel. And this is just a fun one.
Yeah. What kind of energy do you think Jokic's going to bring to this one? Do you think he's going to be aggressive, almost sending a message?
Yes. Every single time he plays him, he sends a message. Really, Vogt already talked about it. He has some monster stat lines against Wemby.
I was looking him up because I didn't really remember, but he did have a couple
He
big
just
ones.
scores.
Yeah.
Wemby had a great one against Denver, though. He had one that was what?
Of course. He has had a couple of big ones, and especially defensively. Like his blocks, like in certain, I feel like he had like a 6-block game or something like that. He has some big ones. But I think that Jokic goes into that. It's a respect thing of like, hey, I have to be on my best game, or this guy's going to be able to get, come at me. Also, I do think that you talk about the chess match. Like, I do think that this is a new puzzle for Jokic to try to figure out. So I think this one is intriguing for him. He's a little bit more excited about this type of matchup. So I think that he's going to come into this like mentally prepared and locked in.
Last year, Jokic had 39, 11, and 9.
That's what I was
31, 7, and 5.
That too.
42, 16, and 6.
Could have been that one.
22, 7, and 12. So a bunch of good games. 22, 7, and 12 for Jokic is actually like not that great. It's good.
It's not.
22, 7, and 12?
Oh,
it's not even a triple-double. 22 and 12.
That was the night that Wemby went off, though, right? Was that the last one, the most recent matchup?
That was the last matchup.
So that was...
Yep. So Wemby obviously has had some big matchups as well, or some big performances. He had 34, 12, and 5, and a lot of that in that second half.
Right.
So tonight, I'm just excited for that one, and I'm excited to see how... I also feel like... Did you guys see this? Matt Moore pointed it out. The Thunder and Celtics play this weekend on Sunday matinee game during the last week of the NFL season on League Pass.
Oh, perfect.
You're just like, that's a potential finals matchup. But I feel the same way with Wemby and Jokic. How easy is it to sell? You just sold it 5 different ways. Best offensive player, best defensive player. They have there's like, it's very easy to say, hey, let's promote this one. The fact that it's kind of buried is like, weird.
The generational prospect versus the generational current MVP Goliath run guy. And I mean, look, the NBA, in my opinion, messes this stuff up a lot. It's easy to say from the chair, but this year, again, and we've said it before, will be the first year with Giannis and Jokic in a nationally televised matchup, which is insane. So not unprecedented here, but I do hope as Wemby garners more and more of the spotlight, which he will, even in San Antonio, schedule makers remember, hey, when he plays Jokic, this isn't just like, this is a very, very lucky cross-wiring of generations here,
right?
That we really want to highlight while we can. So luckily, we're all going to be tuned in tonight, and that's the best part about Jokic from the Denver perspective is we're not relying on the schedule makers. We're tapped in every night, and we know what a treat it is.
As a last little aside here, I hope we get Pickett minutes tonight. Doesn't Pickett feel like a Spur? He feels like a Spurs player, doesn't he?
Are you lobbying? Are you?
I'm just saying, if you're trying to trade the guy, play him tonight.
Sure.
Like, Wemby-Nyama's like, hey man, this guy works.
Why not?
Booty ball.
How about I'll do you one better? Why not play Pickett because he's playing?
Because he's good.
How about that?
Well, I've almost given up on that.
I know
part.
we don't have to use gimmicks right now.
No, we don't have to do it. You guys know I have a soft spot in my heart for Anthony Edwards. I kind of like him. I should hate him.
Yeah.
I kind of like him, but he's testing it. He's testing it. I don't know if you've seen the news lately. But after that really horrible game last game, I mean, he had a horrible game. He had a few complaints and grievances he wanted to air. Yeah, do you have the clip?
I don't know, man. That was a good brand of basketball, but it's not how I want to play, of course. I mean, I'm only 23. I don't want to just be passing the ball all night. You feel me? Like,
You don't do like Conley.
yeah, at all. But the way that they guarded me, I think I have to. So
How hard is it to just stay engaged?
super hard. I mean, because I'm wired to score the ball. Them doubling me definitely is like, bro, what is going on? Like, so yeah, I be trying to figure it out, man.
Absolutely hilarious. I do love him because he's so candid. He has a way of saying something terrible, but somehow it comes off as charming. It's that southern accent.
It worked on me this time.
Worked.
I'm not going to lie.
All this stuff
It
is so
worked.
good, but if you break it down, he didn't like that they were double teaming him. He didn't like that.
It is Devin Booker coded, isn't it?
It's a little he didn't like it, man. And he's like, and he even goes like, I like to score, not pass. You feel me? Like, that's cool, right? He's like, and he's justifying it with like, I'm wired to score, not pass, but they're double teaming me. I have to pass. It honestly is a horrible, horrible perspective. I don't know why I give this guy a pass. It's so funny to me.
This one is insane. Like the Devin Booker one, I think it was a bad look, of course, because it was recorded. But like they're in an open gym run. There's, you're just
Dude,
like, you got to sit for a game.
Tim Legler took your side on that, saying don't double team and pick up. I'm thinking it's basketball.
My thing is it's a pickup. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't, but I'm just like, it's pickup. You're not really winning anything.
Yeah.
In a real basketball game, he's mad that there's schemes, and he's mad that there's
point.
like a point of a guy wanting to keep a job or win a game.
So
You know what I
guys
mean? Like
hounding
that
me.
actually matters, that people are getting paid for.
Yeah.
So like that one is crazy to me that you like openly admit that you just, why can't we play one-on-one? Like, like
He even said it's a great brand of basketball. It's a great style, but
this ain't for me.
That's
like,
actually-
I'm wired to score. Like, why don't you get a bit more wired to pass?
Can I tell
How
you
about
what?
that?
That's why I love the quote. Because he's going, look, man, I understand. I got to make the right play. I just don't want to.
I just don't want to, man. I don't like
want
that.
to. And so if all I can do is complain to you guys, I will. Can you imagine that candid of a conversation, though, with a player? He's just a player of that stature. It's pretty cool.
it is pretty wild, man. I will say this. There are such levels to superstar. That quote came out, and one of the takes everybody has had is like, remember when people thought Ant was better than Tatum? What Ant is really saying, if you listen to the extended quote, he does say, like, we're cutting the clip, you know? He does try to say, like, the whole team's playing well, I'm just not, I got to figure it out. But what he's really complaining about is the spacing. There's not a lot of spacing, and so he can't on his team, and he doesn't like it. The Celtics have the most spacing in the history of basketball. They have a bunch. So
actually true.
There's some of this where I'm like, man, everybody's agenda can swing so easily based on what the rosters have. But you know what it really made me think about? Most players are so dependent on their co-stars in ways that we're so lucky we have Nikola Jokic. Because there are levels to this. I think it's Luka. I think it's Jokic, Giannis. Those might be the only three guys I really think it's like, hey, they just have to change their games to fit their roster, but they can do it. Give Anthony Edwards that, or some of these other great players. Great player. But he's like, man, now I'm just a passer. It's like, yeah, you're just a passer. Jokic is he's an MVP in this direction or that direction, whatever is needed.
Yeah.
There's levels, man, and they're separated by a lot.
People they don't like adapting their game. They don't want to learn a new piece to their game. And he is openly talking about the spacing there.
Right.
And I mean, he might as well. You're already a very candid person. You might as well come out and say it. Like losing Cat changed us and in this entire dynamic.
Right.
You talked about there being levels and those three guys. One, those three guys learned how to pass out of double teams and trust their teammates as well. For one, and two, they never complain about the double team. They're okay with it. They're ready for it, and they've accepted it every single night. Every best player in the world is getting double teamed. SGA is getting double teamed every single night.
Yep.
He still finds a way. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan was going through triple teams and stuff. There are different ways that you have to adapt to your game, but become a better passer. Be able to make your shots. He's taking 20 shots a game, 25 shots a game. He's going 4 for 20. Make some layup. Do it in different ways. But it is crazy to see a superstar complain about being double teamed, of all things.
Yeah, I mean, I I don't know if it was. I mean, it was a complaint, but I think it was also more of like an acknowledgement of the stage he's at in his career. Like,
I also love the 23 because it's like
that part was.
Guys, I'm just a kid, man. I'm like,
just a kid.
I'm not even a full adult. I'm just 23. Like,
I would prefer to score. I understand Mike Conley has to pass. Yeah, no, but it is interesting. I mean, there are levels to this, and I'm not even doing the bit here. Shout out Lake and Ball. You know, Tatum is a guy who's who's still pretty young, learned over his career. I'm going to get doubled a lot. I should probably just pass the ball. And
he still has elite spacing though. Like I want to see what he looks like with Julius Randle. He probably pulling his hair out too.
He also still takes a lot more shots than that narrative would suggest. But no, I like Ant. What Ant can't do though is say what Dev suggested, because I don't like he is the leader, like in the spiritual energy way. And I don't, he's probably not interested in tearing Julius Randle down right now.
Yeah.
A guy who probably is ready to fold. So he probably can't say the cat thing, but I'm sure he's thinking it. I'm sure.
I just think we need to all make sure we always appreciate Yoke and say our thanks to the basketball gods that we get to root for him, because it really is one of those things where the Nuggets have to come through for him, because the way he has changed his game this year to fit this roster and is somehow just the best version of himself doing something completely different. It's just so awesome, man. And when you see it contrasted to another great player who's like not only incapable of doing it, but also like complaining about it, it's hilarious.
Last thing I'll say about Ant, first off, I truly love how open he is.
Me too.
I do. It's in 2K, they have a story mode, and there's always a disrespectful line, and then like the respectful one.
You do disrespectful.
One does like the fans, and one does teammates.
Okay.
I'm always going for fans. I don't do no teammates. His thing is all for the fans, and he's very open, and you have to love that. I do think that sometimes you can put your foot in your mouth, but it's refreshing. He's refreshing.
If you get on a team, Dev, and it's a good team, they're playing a good brand of basketball, but your job is to do something. Like, do you not like it? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Really?
Absolutely. Like if there's,
See, this is where we're different.
Because I'm. What you guys don't believe, but I'm a willing passer. I'm a willing passer. So when I pass
I think you're a passer. You pass me the ball.
But I'm just saying, when
so
I
good.
pass it a lot of times and then I don't get the ball back, and I'm like just sitting in the court, you become Russell Westbrook. You're pissed off. You're like, why am I here? This is not what I do. Also, you're gonna get it back. Russell Westbrook's passing the ball back to you, so it's like that pisses you off. But I think there is frustration to it. He came into this always as a guard, as a shooting guard. At no point did he think he was going to be a point guard. He is now the point guard. Like, when's the last time you thought about like Mike Conley?
Right.
I don't even know who the backup is after that. He is the point guard now, and I do think that's getting to him a little bit more on top of losing.
I'm telling you, man, I love every role in basketball if it's a good team. I don't want to be the rebounder on a bad team.
Right.
That's what I don't like. But if I'm on a good team and it's like you're the screen guy and rebound, I turn into Draymond Green. I just become a nuisance to the guy. You know what I mean? I just like get under the skin, and I love that.
Like David Lee, man, just happy to be here.
Yeah, just
late stage David Lee,
but doing my job at a high level. So I never relate to that stuff, man. I don't get. Double teams are fun. Passing out of a double team is great. That's one of my, it's one of my favorites. When I see the double coming, I'm like, oh, am I throwing? What kind of pass am I going for here?
Well, that's I think an interesting way to look at it is learning to embrace it as a basketball player and even as a scorer too, right? I'm sure, Kobe would say, man, just get obsessive about like whatever your footwork is that allows you to beat these double teams or make a play for someone, right? But just to be clear, I don't really think Ant's unwilling to do that. I think he was just kind of saying
he was mad, man.
Yeah, but I think he was just like, look, man, this is new for me and it sucks. I don't think that means he's not going to. But
I can't wait till the guy that's the double team is coming from knocks down shots and be like, these idiots kept double teaming, so I had to hit 25. Keep sending the double team. I can't wait till that person comes out. Like, I wish they double teamed every single night because I destroy them when they do that.
He's only got 6 more dunks than Jokic this year, which is kind of wild. Our pregame picks are presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use the code DNVR365. Deposit $10. Place a bet of $5 or more and get $200 in bonus bets and a code to get the first 2 months of Altitude Plus, courtesy of Bet365. Must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Dev?
That was smooth.
Make us some money, buddy.
It's time to make money, and I like this one. I truly like this one. Nuggets come into this game as 7-point favorites, and they're starting to get things together right now. They're starting to look like the Nuggets. The Spurs, they hang in games because they're young, they hustle, but they also have the best big, the best defensive big. They have a big that, a lot of teams are scared of. Not Denver, not Jokic. I'm not going to tell you to take the 7. That's a lot, but I do think a Nuggets money line, if you need a juice or bet, I will take the money line on this.
And I'm going to get every win in this streak that keeps coming, I just get more and more excited.
Exactly.
We get one tonight, I'm going to be hyped.
This is a wild over-under to me of 237. And the thing is, I'm going to go over until I can see this team get a single stop.
Yeah, fair.
It just does not seem like they could stop a nosebleed. Like, it's pretty crazy what's happening out there. I was shocked about the Hawks game. They were missing guys. Everybody scores. I'm going to go with the over. I just think that there's a lot of scoring opportunities for both teams. Neither team is going to try to stop each other. On the Spurs side, with Sohan out, that means that others have to step out, and that's pushed players into a different role. That also means more scoring opportunities for others. There's a guy that you want to talk about double teams coming, and like there's a guy that just hits shots all the time. Against the Nuggets, for some reason, it is Harrison Barnes.
Really?
They have his line at 9. He's going to hit
9
over 9
points?
Yeah, he's
9
going to
and
hit
a half?
over 9.5. Let's
low.
just take it.
Well, let's.
You'd be foolish to think that I'm not going to get a Wemby bet in.
Okay.
Or 2. Or
Okay.
3.
What are they going to be?
The guy's an alien. D-Line is lucky that he's not here.
He is lucky.
Dude, I would stare at him every single time that Wemby hits a three-pointer or has an insane dunk that nobody could go up there to get or anything like that. Like, that guy can score. He really can. And they're starting to give him the ball more. Damn near every shot is taken. And he has Chris Paul next to him, who, like Westbrook, just says feed the big guy, and he's going to be able to score. Again, I talked about the 30 field goal attempt performances that he's had. 26.5 points is too low, especially in a game that has a 237 over-under.
Okay.
26.5. He's going to score the points. Just take the over. For the Nuggets,
There we go.
what
There
you
you
guys
go.
came for.
Sorry, I was falling
What you guys
asleep.
came for. Michael Porter Jr. is back into his
I'm awake.
role and that mindset that we love the most.
Threes?
You know what my parents used to scream like every single time that I was in a high school game?
Like if you were
Shoot the damn ball. The whole time. That's the worst parents, by the way.
Shoot it!
Shoot the ball. It
first
doesn't
you
even
touch
matter
it.
where you are. Just shoot the damn ball. And I'm sure that his dad did that too. And he makes them a lot more than I did.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get the over 2.5 3-pointers for Michael Porter Jr. We're going to stick to Michael Porter Jr. because we're going to take the bet that we always take. Over 2.5 assists. This needs to come down. Like he's been stopping at 2. But it's so damn fun. I have to take the bet. I'm going to go also with Christian Brown. He's gotten back into scoring. He's one of the reasons that the Nuggets have looked steady. There's a balance around Jokic right now, and he opens things up. I'm going to go with the points plus rebounds at 16.5, our bread and butter. And with the big man battling for Wemby, there should be some more rebounding opportunities. So I like this. I think he's going to grab a couple boards, so I'll do the points as well because he's been playing well. Westbrook as a Nugget is what you could only hope for. Westbrook as a starter, now we're cooking with peanut oil. He is playing well right now.
That's how I love to cook.
I've been loving his assists lately. They have it at 7.5, which is a little bit higher today. He's been going for triple doubles, or at least trying to get a triple double. And it's not the assists that be the issue; it's the rebounds. I think he's going to get 7.5 in assists. It's also for he's a starter. He gets more opportunity. They putting the ball in his hands, and he's just starting to make things shake. So I'm going to go with that assist over. What kind of start Jamal gets out to determines the kind of play that you'll get from him tonight. He hasn't been scoring a ton lately later in games, so you know what we're going to take? Adam's favorite bet, the first quarter bet for Jamal, over 5 points in the first quarter.
Really?
Let us just know early on if he's going to have a scoring night or not.
This is a fun one.
Because
I like
if you're going to go with his points, it usually comes early.
Yeah.
Or super late when the game is pretty much over.
That's what happened last game.
So, let's just take it early. Who's the best paint protector in the NBA, you ask?
Nikola Jokic.
Jokic.
No, it's
okay.
Wemby.
Sorry.
Wemby is. The
We
guy
going back
blocks
to
everything.
Wemby, yeah? Are we going back to Wemby?
Dude, we have a defensive bet, don't we? We're going to go with over 4.5 stocks. No, I'm joking. This is not a Wemby
We
bet.
had to have defensive
But we are going to do 4.5 stocks. But this is a bet for Jokic, 3-pointers. He's going to have to push him out of the paint.
Oh, I love it.
I'm gonna push it up to 3. They have it at 2.5. I'm
Really?
gonna go, or they have it at 1.5, I think. But there's
Buy
juice
the
on it.
3,
I'm gonna
yeah.
go 3. Push it up for plus money because
I
I
like
just
this
like
bet.
that he's in the paint patrolling. So like, let's just get there.
I like this bet.
I like it. And then for our lock, for one, you can look at the points. In this game, he's at those monster scoring performances. But I think it's going to be the assist. I'm going right back to that because I expect a triple-double. They have his assist at 8.5. That's too low. We already know he gets at least a Sombor. So he'll stop at 9 at the very latest. That means that your bet already cashed. This is a different kind of challenge for him, a different type of puzzle. One to be playing chess. The other one, a little bit easier. Checkers for him. Checkers for Jokic. So I think that he gets the assist, tries to get him out of there. And also I expect other guys to knock down shots. So I'm going to go with the over 8.5 assists.
Love
Do
it,
you
dude.
like triple-double bet tonight?
I do. Wemby's he's long, he's tall, but he's not a great rebounder yet. Like, he doesn't have like 17 rebound performances or anything like that. Jokic does. I do think that he's going to be a little bit more engaged. It will be the rebounds, if anything. I think the assists are going to be there. It's a higher scoring game. I don't think that Spurs have the better defender, so I like it.
All right, what super chats do we got here? Just the one.
Just the one. S. Williams,
S2.
2. I see S2 in the arena everywhere, man. This guy is everywhere. Just for the Laney 5s Dev got on. Fire.
Fire one.
Yes, sir. Yeah, these are good. These are good 5s.
These are
Guys,
good
last
fives.
note for me as this game gets underway here. Big night for the Nuggets. Mavericks playing the Cavs and the Rockets playing the Celtics. Look, a little early to standings watch, but maybe not too early to get excited.
Let's do it, baby. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging. We're going to go down to the bar. Friday night at the DNVR bar. Nothing better. We'll see you guys on the other side.
We all silly like the mayor.